This is the time of year when everyone relates the classic holiday films that fill their hearts with joy. That's everyone else, though, and this is Moviocrity. Sorry, folks, you're getting Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. By far, the strangest Christmas film I've seen is Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. There used to be a market for low-budget films that were made to be shown only as weekend matinees. This is one of those films, and boy, is it ever a cheat. We start out with Santa's Helpers, a group of children who are absolutely unable to sing on key. Santa is nowhere to be seen, however, as a narrator tells us he got his sleigh stuck on a Florida beach, which of course means that he's only a heartbeat away from being shot and killed under the state stand your ground laws. Santa is played by Jay Ripley, working under a pseudonym and probably hoping no one notices him. He's obviously a much younger and thinner man in a padded suit and a fake beard that most department store Santas would likely reject. The reindeer left him behind, so don't be surprised if Santa doesn't wind up dining on venison pretty soon. Santa is out there baking in the sun, and so he psychically summons several local kids to help him dig his sleigh out. The kids must all live in zoo enclosures, since they bring in animals such as dogs, horses, goats, and even gorillas to help. Even Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn are unable to help, although what they're doing in 1970s Florida is anybody's guess. And how can Santa get stranded for days on end in what looks like 4 inches of sand? I don't know. Santa tells the kids not to give up and relates the story of Thumbelina. Or, rather, he starts to tell the story and the film switches to a completely different movie that had been filmed years earlier. That film has its own framing device of a young woman walking through the old Pirates Cove amusement park and then stopping in a seriously low-rent attraction in which a recording on a speaker box tells the story of Thumbelina as the woman looks at the dioramas and imagines herself in the story. Cue credits. Yeah. So, let's review. Santa's child labor starts out the story, which is then taken over by a narrator talking about how Santa is stuck, which is then taken over by Santa, relating a story which turns out to be a girl walking through an amusement park, and then turning into a speaker box, narrating the story, and we even get 2 complete sets of credits. Holy mackerel. The Saragossa manuscript didn't get that complicated. The narrative devices in play are a virtual Matryoshka doll of insanity. The Thumbelina insert, as it's called, is actually a full-length film that takes up the majority of Ice Cream Bunny's runtime. It's directed by Barry Mahan, or Mahan, or... Okay, I can't find the pronunciation, so I'm calling him Barry Mahan. An exploitation director who made a name for himself directing various films, mostly softcore skin flicks, in the 1950s and 60s. Later in his career, he turned to family films that would test the patience and sanity of children around the globe. Mahan was also a war hero, responsible for shooting down a number of German planes and whose exploits escaping from Nazi prison camps helped inspire Steve McQueen's character in The Great Escape. Unfortunately, we were cheated out of a Great Escape sequel in which McQueen directs Rocket Attack USA and Confessions of a Bad Girl. Mahan's Thumbelina is psychedelic in a puff and stuff kind of way, relying on cheap sets, strange costumes, and even papier-mâché models to tell the story. It is, in its own way, absolutely fascinating. So after we sit through over an hour of Thumbelina, Santa finally thinks of someone who can help him escape from Florida. That person is, of course, the Ice Cream Bunny of the title. This was a character from a theme park and is obviously some guy in a horrifying saggy bunny suit, the face frozen in a giant grin. The Ice Cream Bunny speeds to the rescue on the lamest and slowest fire truck in existence. Everybody's happy. The end. So, the Ice Cream Bunny saved Christmas? Kind of? Sort of? I guess. And of course, all of this fills you with the Christmas spirit, right? No, of course not. In fact, chances are, if you were a kid who spent your Saturday afternoon watching this film, it might sour you on the holiday forever. Thus, we have one of the greatest, most hilariously inept holiday films of all time. And yet, I would take this film over Christmas with the Cranks any day of the week.
Tonight, I'm going to the movies. Tonight, I'm gonna lay back and stare and let the pictures take me anywhere. Tonight, it's gonna be adventure.